Hello again, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Tales from the Table. I'm your host, Philly Dips, and today we're going to be continuing our tale from the table of the Chronicles of the Queen's Gambit. We kind of took a break from it because we had the other episode about creating settlements, and we also did the first episode of Roll With It, which you should go check out. We played Last Night on Earth. It was pretty fun. And yeah, we're gonna dive right in here, and we're gonna talk about what happened next. So you may recall from last time, the party had robbed a bank accidentally. They were working for the dwarves, and they were sent to the human country to go and assassinate this guy. And in the process of assassinating the guy, they decided to rob a bank. It was not a very well formulated plan. Nevertheless, they escaped with their lives, and the mission completed. And they made it back home, and that's where the story left off. So, they sailed home. There's a bit of an incident, but long story short, they made it home. An incident about, running out of food or something, or finding, fake treasure. Anyway, they sailed home, and they were relieved to find out that the king had approved of their work, and they were ready to do another mission for him, which he had. He's like, okay, you guys, the elven city of San Eliminio has been experiencing some resistance movements. It's not been good over there. The resistance has been attacking innocent people, destroying guards, and destroying buildings. They need to be crushed immediately. You guys have proven yourselves as fighters. We need you guys to go get in there and take them out. So essentially, the dwarves, they occupy. I should put up a map of the world sometime. I might do that at the end of the video. Stay tuned. So basically, the dwarves, they occupied, very long ago, they occupied an elven town called San Eliminio. And they've been occupying it for a very long time, so they've imposed all of their guards there. Think of World War II, Nazi occupied cities. It was kind of like that. It wasn't nice to live there. Big dwarven signs hanging and stuff. And so they're sent there to go investigate this resistance movement, and they arrive at the town. And yeah, it's quality life is poor. The elves are kind of like the third world country in this world. They don't really have it as good as the other ones do. The other ones, they have all this steam technology and all of these cool things, but they're kind of living off the land, as is elven tradition. So they arrive and they head to the last known location of the resistance meeting, and they're shocked to discover that inside the building there are 3 elves, and they're discussing resistance movements with 2 Tikabese people. Tikabese being from the island that they started on. And you're it's a big dun 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 kind of moment, and it's what are you doing here? How did you find us? Well, why did you follow us? And well, we couldn't let you get away. We had to go out and chase after you. And so there's a big discussion about oh no, you can't, you couldn't have just left us. We had a duty to search you. The spirits would have wanted it. Anyway, long story short, the discussion ends with Tikabese persuading the people that we got to take down the dwarves, man. They've been oppressing this town, something fierce, and being players who are only in it for whatever reward there is at hand. Okay, sure, let's turn on the guys who have given us food and shelter. And so, they blow out the weapons and they charge into battle. They attack a few guards stationed around town, and then some more guards, reserve soldiers come in. There's a squad of 6 of them, and there's a big bloody battle. I think it ended with a few of the resistance members dying, but for the most part, the resistance, they took the town by force. I was quite surprised, actually. The party had some good rolls. Somebody, Ezio, he got a collateral with his bow, just threw 2 guys' heads. It was very Call of Duty. So they took over the town, and they're like, okay, listen to me. We're in a blind act of, overconfidence. Like, hey, let's head to the next dwarven town. We're gonna take it over. We're bringing down the dwarves today. So they rally the resistance, and there are like 50 total members of the resistance, like 50 total people out of a village of like maybe 200. So the resistance had a pretty major They had a pretty major force in the town. So they could have done this at any time, but they decided to now because the PCs arrived with their big shiny weapons and stuff. So they blindly get into all their boats and they sail over to the next dwarven town. They arrive and they head into town blindly, and they just start hacking away at guards. What they're shocked to discover is that like the dwarves had received word of this, and being the corrupt, crush all evil types they are, they send 2 airships, and they see them coming over the mountains very menacingly, and they start firebombing the town all the people are living in, and trying to crush the resistance movement. And it was at that moment when the party realized these guys aren't good. We got to get away from them as fast as we can. However, they had run pretty far into town at this point in time, and they were pretty far away from the port, from the docks. And so getting back to their ship will be no mean feat. As they in the firebombing, they passed this one man who was carrying 2 babies, and he was just a beggar. And the party, they couldn't help but feeling sorry for him. So they're like, okay, dude, go to our ship, run as fast as you can. We're trying to save innocents here. Get to the ship and wait there. We're gonna get you out of here. And so he takes his babies and he runs off. That guy would later be known as the baby guy, because I couldn't think of a name for him, and they're happy with that nickname, so we called him that. So yeah, they charged deeper into the town, searching for innocents and such, and battling guards. And this one firebomb hits right in the center of the city market as a fight's going on in there with the party. And it breaks open to reveal the sewers below the town. Oh, I got things in the wrong order. Sorry. Before the market fight, Ergen had to run back to the ship to take care of the civilians, because he wasn't there at that session. So he just ran back home back to the ship to see what he could do. And so for the remainder of the session, it was a fight. So for the next section, it was just a fight between Chikaliku, Enzio, the Resistance, versus the entire town's guard force. And it ended when a big huge firebomb smashed down in the middle of the market and revealed a gaping hole that led down to the city's sewers, the massive labyrinth of sewers. And this was their party's first proper dungeon. And the Chikaliku and Enzio, they tumbled down into the sewers, and they were trapped there. They sat for a while hoping that rescue would come, but it never did. And they said, okay, we're gonna find our way out of the sewers. And they thought, being medieval steampunk Victorian times, all sewers lead to the ocean. Finding Nemo was right. So they were in the sewer. It smelled vile, and they were looking at okay, so if this water's coming from that way and going that way and turning that way, they did some basic mathematics of flow rate, and they said, okay, so the exit to the sewer must be that way. They ran down and they encountered a lot of gross, unnatural things that were living down there, like skeletons, zombies, a team of bandits that were holed up down there. But in the end, they made it out of the sewer. They made it to the sewer. They cut the bars and they swam for it in the solution of ocean water and gross sewer water. They swam for it. They swam for their ship, and they hopped in and they sailed away. They decided to lay low for a while, so they turned back towards San Eluminio, the elven town, and they they went to a bar like to celebrate. Hey, we told them, we showed them how the elves roll, and they clink, and they had a run for the evening. The next morning, they decided that they needed a crew because up until then, the party had just been kind of running around the ship whenever they were sailing and just kind of adjusting the sails and such. So we need a crew that knows what they're doing, that can help us out in a pinch. So this being an oceanfaring campaign, before session 1, I created like a list of ship upgrades and a list of crew members that they could get, and there were four classes of crew. There was sailor slash engineer, there was gunner slash security, there was cook slash medic, which is a weird combination, but I don't know, it made for an interesting character, which you'll find out about, and bard slash bar wench. Needless to say, they hired one of those. They were considering hiring 2 at one point, but they're like, no, our money is better spent. So yeah, so they had a crew capacity for 8, because there were 3 captain's beds, and there were 8 crew bunks, and they hired 4 sailors, 2 gunners slash security, a cook, and a bard. The cook was named Daniel, and you can imagine that the party immediately made a connection. Oh, Daniel Cook. And if you never heard of Daniel Cook, then I don't know, go Google it. It was a great show. Oh yeah, it's Daniel Cook. It's great. And so they started singing the Daniel Cook theme song immediately. And so yeah, the party had been assembled. The crew had been assembled. They decided that their next plan of action would be to go to another port in the Elven town to gather more supplies. Because the San Eliminia was a small village, there wasn't much there. But the next town over, it would definitely have some goods. So they arrive, and they have to get in the customs office again. And as you may know, the customs office, or as you may remember, the customs office for my party was always the place of chaos. They're sitting in the customs office, waiting, and they spot this dragonborn fellow, and wow, that's a pretty interesting character. So they go chat him up, and the dragonborn's name is Gesh, or as he will later be named, it's Papa Gesh, and he was a player character being controlled by a new member of the party who will be joining them for their travels. Yeah, Papa Gesh, or Gesh. I'm gonna call him Gesh from now on. And so Gesh joined the party after hearing, oh yeah, we're gonna go on adventures, and we're gonna earn good money. So they convince him to join, and they get into town to buy their supplies, and then they head back out to the sea. Wherever the wind takes us, right? Out on the sea, they spot 2 dwarven steamships, and they're like, oh crap, they're gonna recognize our ship. Let's get the heck out of here. And they turn the wheel, but it seems as though the dwarven steamships had spotted them, and so they gather in the captain's quarters. Okay, what are our options right now? Well, we can stand and fight and then be blown to smithereens by some dwarven ships, or we can run. And they studied the map of the world that I had given them, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go to this island, and that's all for this time. We're going to find out what happens next in the next episode. Before I go, one thing I want to say, if you liked that last episode about creating settlements, then let me know in the comments if you want to see any other topics. I'm thinking of doing an episode for how to create a cool world, or tips from an experienced DM to a new DM. And yeah, you should check that out. Until next time, we'll find out what happens to the party. Peace out. Alright, so as promised, you have now received your world map overview. It's a very complex kind of political map of the world. So basically what we have here at the top, in the middle, in the kind of middle right, is Tikaboo Island. That's where the players started off. Up in the top right is the island called the Citadel, where the players may or not be heading right now. The island to the left of that is a secret. We'll cover that later. This very small kind of raptor head-looking island in the top left. That's the Elven Island where they were. You can see San Eliminyao, the dwarven city, or the elven city that is occupied by the dwarves. Down below is the dwarven kingdom, all highlighted in blue, and down below is the human kingdom, all highlighted in blue, or in red. Sorry. And yeah, it's the rest of the world map overview. We're going to cover more parts in detail as the players explore them more. Yeah.